And we got back again, dear viewers. Joining us today is Almoulah, an engineer, pilot, architect, and a filmmaker who is working on becoming Kuwait's first astronaut with a unique background that combines science, technology, and creativity. Badr has been part of research missions exploring space challenges, including medical simulations and survival skills for astronauts. His journey reflects not only personal ambition, but also Kuwait inspiration to contribute to global space exploration. Today, we'll dive into his inspiring path, his research experiences, and his vision for the future of space in Kuwait. So hello and good morning, Engineer Badr.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. It's really an interesting topic.
Thank you.
You are an engineer, filmmaker, and you are becoming an astronaut.
Inshallah.
It's really a unique thing to do in Kuwait. So we'd like to know your inspiration, how actually you become or you pursue that path to become an astronaut.
So from a young age, I was very interested in space, like many kids. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to do with my life, I saw people like Leonardo da Vinci as inspirations. Wow. And people who did more than one thing as a profession. And I thought, who's the closest to that today? And that's turned out to be astronauts. Because astronauts do more than one thing. They usually have a specialty in science, engineering, or math, and then they take that into space.
So you are a multitask, let's say, Badr.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So you say that from you're a child, you've become to love space, to become an astronaut. Is that what because or before being an engineer, an architect, or after?
I think before. I think it's all related. Like for me, I think that whatever I learn helps me grow my own personal library of knowledge, and I use that wherever I go. So for me, architecture and design is all a type of thinking, a way of problem solving, and I apply that to where I'm going. Okay,
so let's say they only combined your vision. Let's say the architects, the engineering, and the aviation, they all actually combine together to have a really clear vision to be an astronaut.
Exactly. It all comes together, and you need all of those skills to become an astronaut.
That's amazing. So can you tell us more about your experience in medical simulations?
So I had a mission where I was an analog astronaut living on a volcano in Hawaii for 2 weeks, and I simulated life on the moon as if I was living there on the moon with a team of other analog astronauts. And during this time, I did some medical research. I worked with Dr. Mohammed Jamal, and he worked with some local surgeons in Kuwait to teach me some, basically a crash course on surgeries that a non-medical astronaut would be able to do in an emergency situation. So we practiced doing a tension pneumothorax, solving that, which is a collapsed lung, or fixing a broken leg, and also suturing like major lacerations, so cuts. So basically, emergencies that might happen on the moon or Mars, how would you teach analog astronauts or real astronauts to solve those problems?
Wow, it seems really a harsh job to do, like a medical, let's say, emergencies, not in the Earth, in the moon.
Yeah,
like exactly, and the Mars as well. So what are the challenges you face to become, or we are about learning and practicing to become an astronaut?
I think the biggest challenge is really just admitting at the beginning of learning anything that you don't know much, and just taking it on as a challenge for yourself, and to be able to really push past the difficulties of learning something again and again. So if you love learning, this is a good area for you to branch into, because they look for astronauts, when they're searching for astronauts, they look for people who love to learn, people who spend their time curious about how the world works and want to know more and more. So that's kind of where the challenge is the beginning part of saying, okay, I don't know anything right now, how can I build on that again?
So the passion and loving your job, that's really important, because you love to discover, not only on Earth, even on space, which is really an amazing to do. Like they are increasing your imagination as well.
Exactly.
So let's talk about how do you think of Kuwait really contributing in space research and technology nowadays?
I think that Kuwait has one of the highest percentages of youth who are involved and interested in space. We have a very active youth, and they're very interested in not just becoming astronauts, but contributing to space, satellites, engineering. As we know, Kuwait also supports students who are studying abroad, so that's something that really creates a base of youth who know what they're doing and want to apply their knowledge to something bigger than themselves. And Kuwait, in my opinion, is primed and it's in the perfect place to really evolve and grow into space and tackle that frontier in the way that we think that they can. I think that the contributions that we can have as a country for space flight and space exploration in general are massive. And it's an industry that we haven't tapped into. It's an industry that is there, and it's something that we can really we have a chance to really take advantage of, in a sense.
That's amazing. So, but let's get back to your practicing as to become an astronaut. How long does it take to become an astronaut, let's say?
So there's a lot of things that you need to learn to become an astronaut, but typically it takes 2 years of basic training, and then after that you are sort of graduated into being an astronaut, and from there, whatever assignment you get, if you get a mission, you train at least 3 to 4 years for. So it's close to 6 years of training just for that alone. But in general, there's just a lot of life skills that you can teach yourself before you ever start on the official path. So there are things that you can work on, your soft skills, basically learning how to manage yourself, your mood, your behavior. These are things that are more important than the hard skills, because the hard skills can be taught to many people, but the soft skills are from your childhood, and they require self-regulation.
Wow, that's really a great point you shed the light on, that we have to behave our emotions and our mood.
Of course.
Because it's really a hard job to do actually on the moon. Like, for example, if you have some emergency down there, let's say don't down there, up there. Up there, you feel like you have to, let's say, control your emotions and anger, and that's really amazing, and you are practicing that. Actually, are they teaching you to do that, or are doing that by self, let's say, taught?
I think that's mostly self-taught. I think they look for candidates and people who might become astronauts by filtering those who have certain soft skills that they need. Think about it. If you're going to spend, 6 months to 9 months to a year in a single station with 6 other people, you can imagine it can easily become frustrating to be in that space with other people. So they really want people who are level-headed and know what they're doing when it comes to interacting with others and not creating problems out of nothing,
Yes, we watch the astronauts through movies, because I do love scientific movies, and I saw some movies that they have really small meals, and certain actually meals, and they should have a healthy lifestyle, a healthy heart. Let's say, is that really true? I'd like to know more about the skills of the astronauts.
100%. One of the major requirements for becoming an astronaut is to be healthy and have a healthy body. Because the last thing they want is for them to spend all this time, energy, training you, and the money to send you up to space, and then for you to get sick in space because of some other complication. So they really test the astronauts, and they do lots of they do weekly blood tests in space. They take their own blood, sometimes daily, depending on the experiment that they're doing. So they really care about the health of the astronauts. It's very important.
That's amazing. What about the female? Can you see like a really huge demanding on the female sector to be an astronaut?
I think there's even more demand from females to enter the space. We have lots of women astronauts from the beginning of space flight with the Russian astronauts, but right now I think especially Kuwait, I personally have seen when I go to schools and I talk about space, I've seen more engagement from women than I do from the men.
That's something really should be proud of. So let's talk about the young Kuwait is really fascinated in space. Maybe they are really, as I said, watching movies. They really dream to be an engineers, aviation, and also they will be, let's say, the astronaut. Do you have any message for them or advice for them?
I think my advice is very simple. It's if you believe that there's something that you can do and there's something that you're passionate about, I would say pursue it. Especially here where I think we have certain standard jobs that people default to, and because they provide security or they're comfortable. But I would say if there's something that you're passionate about and there's something that you believe that you can do and you have the skills and the ability to learn, go for it. And especially now, like I'm hoping, you know, if I never become an astronaut for whatever reason, I hope that the work that I'm doing and the work that others in Kuwait are doing towards space will help build a stage and a foundation and a platform for the youth that are coming up so that they can do it for us.
That's really a great, let's say, hope from you, Badr. So how actually do you balance between engineering, to be an engineer, a pilot, and also a filmmaker? So we'd like to know your trick or your secret.
So my daily job is I'm one of the co-founders and creative directors at Invisible Ink. So we do VFX and animation, and that's my day-to-day job. But in my spare time, so when I go on vacations and when I do my own kind of missions, I basically travel to places where I train, and sometimes it's Russia, sometimes it's Hawaii, sometimes all these places, but I'm usually somewhere training to build my skill set. So most recently I became a pilot in Prague. So wherever I'm going, I'm using my own time and energy and money to build my skill set and prepare me for space.
That's amazing. So talk to us about the, let's say, the filmmaker. How actually you are doing that? Like so editing some films or while you are traveling or so on?
Yeah, so basically the company that I have, we do visual effects and animation. Specifically, we work with films or ads or whoever to create the illusions that you see in the movies and create Hollywood level effects. Me and my business partner, we worked for Disney, Walt Disney Imagineering, so we have a background in storytelling and really high standard effects and what's necessary to communicate visually how the kind of magic that we see in the movies. So we're trying to bring that to Kuwait, we're trying to establish that here. Alhamdulillah, so far everything is going really well.
Well, that's really an amazing. As I said, you are a multitasked and multi-talented engineer, Badr. So we'd like to know your future plans or your dreams.
I mean, my dream is to become Kuwait's first astronaut, and inshallah, I think we have some progress with that daily, and when the time is right, I think it will be perfect opportunity for Kuwait to send up an astronaut. I think I'm trying to get myself to the level where I'm the most likely candidate, and I'm hoping that we can have a mission soon. I'm in talks with some people internationally so that we can try and make some of these things happen. I'm basically constantly in communication with the possibility of making that happen. So the goal, inshallah, is to make that happen, to get official training, support from the government, and to become an official astronaut for Kuwait.
Well, and you can do it because we are so proud of you. And thank you for joining us in Good Morning Kuwait to be an inspirational, actually, idol for too many people, too many young Kuwaiti, let's say, people who would really love to be as successful as you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Big thanks and appreciation to our dear guest, Badr Almoulah. He is an engineer, pilot, architect, and a filmmaker. Italy is not only famous for its pasta and pizza, but also its rich in tradition and crafting chocolate. Italian chocolate is known for its smooth texture, balanced flavors, and a touch of artistry that makes every piece special. From a classic dark variation to creamy gandé, from Turin, each bite carries, as let's say, a story of heritage and passion. In this following report, we uncover the secret behind Italian chocolate and why it continues to be a symbol of excellence around the world. More details in this following delicious report.